Hey there, science fans! Today, we're diving into the amazing world of DNA. DNA is like a super detailed instruction manual found inside almost every cell in your body. It tells your cells how to do everything from building muscles to digesting your food. Pretty cool, right? Imagine DNA as a long, twisted ladder. Each rung of this ladder is made up of special chemicals called bases. There are 4 different bases: adenine, A, thymine, T, guanine, G, and cytosine, C. These bases are like letters in the alphabet, and their order spells out the instructions for building and running you. Just like your instruction manual can be used to build many things, your DNA contains the instructions for making all the different proteins your body needs. Proteins are the workhorses of your cells, carrying out all sorts of important jobs. Now, you might be wondering how this tiny instruction manual gets passed down from one generation to the next. That's where DNA replication comes in. Before a cell can divide into 2 new cells, it needs to make a copy of its DNA. This process is called DNA replication. It's like making a photocopy of that super important instruction manual, so each new cell has a complete set. First, the DNA ladder unzips down the middle, breaking the bonds between the base pairs. Each separated strand then acts as a template for building a new strand. Free-floating bases within the cell match up with their complementary bases on each template strand. A always pairs with T, and C always pairs with G. This process continues until 2 identical DNA molecules are formed, each with 1 old strand and 1 new strand. It's like magic, but it's really just science. Now, each new cell will have its own complete set of genetic instructions. Now that we have 2 copies of our instruction manual, it's time to put those instructions to work. This is where translation comes in. Translation is the process of turning the genetic code in DNA into proteins, the building blocks of life. Remember those base pairs we talked about earlier? Groups of 3 bases, called codons, act as the words in the DNA code. Each codon codes for a specific amino acid, which are the building blocks of proteins. During translation, a special molecule called messenger RNA, mRNA, reads the DNA code and carries it out of the nucleus, the cell's control center, to the ribosomes, the protein-making factories of the cell. At the ribosomes, the mRNA codons are read and the corresponding amino acids are linked together in the correct order, like beads on a string. This chain of amino acids then folds into a specific 3-dimensional shape to form a functional protein. Think of it like baking a cake. Your DNA is the recipe book, DNA replication is like making a copy of the recipe, and translation is like actually baking the cake.